Smart, smart, do. We are the children, the children of God. Come, come, come. We change our world. We have what it takes to do it smart and make it smart. Welcome to our Smart Do.
Hello children, welcome back to another exciting episode. This is Standard 6 Social Studies, looking at a wonderful and interesting topic known as coffee in Kenya and Ethiopia. Welcome. Now, as we are looking at coffee in Kenya and Ethiopia, we'll have a brief introduction about coffee. Now, coffee came from the name known as kafa, okay? Or a term known as kafa. Kafa comes from a country known as Ethiopia, okay? Comes from Ethiopia. Now, Ethiopia, why? Because coffee is widely or largely grown in Ethiopia. It has been grown in a province that was known as Kafa. So the word coffee came from Ethiopia by the name Kafa. So coffee, it's a very interesting plant whereby we get the coffee berries. They are taken to the factory, and from there we're able to get coffee that we drink. I believe most of us love coffee as a beverage. Okay? So having coffee, we need to look at what are the conditions that are necessary for the growing of coffee. Now, when we start, let us look at the conditions necessary for its growth. Okay? So what are the conditions for growth? Okay? Now, number one, we need to look at its temperature. What kind of temperatures does this plant it's able to grow in? Number one, I would like you to understand that coffee grows in areas called places, highland regions. Okay? So, when you're looking about its temperature, we expect the temperatures that are low. Okay? For example, it grows in temperatures of 14 degrees. Okay? In terms of temperature, grows in temperatures of 14 degrees Celsius to around 25 degrees Celsius. Okay? Number two, it grows in area of red volcanic soils. Okay? Its soils are red volcanic soils. That's why it grows very well. Now, in areas of black cotton soil, sandy soil, this plant would do well. Okay? So, number three. So, red volcanic soils that are also well drained. That should be very important. Now, number three, should be protected from direct sunlight. Okay? Protected from direct sunlight. So these plants should be protected from the direct sunlight for its growth. So it grows in areas of cold regions. Okay, cool and wet areas is where this plant does very well. Now, number four, we have to look at the amount of rainfall. Okay, so in terms of rainfall, what do you expect? Do you expect little rainfall or much rainfall? So from this plant, it requires a lot of rainfall. So it requires a rainfall of about 1,000 millimeters of rainfall to around 2,000 millimeters of rainfall annually. So every year, 1,000 millimeters to 2,000 millimeters of rainfall every year annually. Okay? Number five, what we need to look at. Number five, we need to look at the altitude. Okay? It grows in what altitude? Now, as we talked here, now we have two types of coffee. We have what we know as the Arabica and the Robusta coffee. Okay? The Arabica and Robusta coffee. Now, as we are looking at the Arabica, Arabica is widely grown. Okay? It's grown, widely grown. Number 2, Arabica produces more yields compared to Robusta. Now, Arabica will not be able to survive in severe conditions, but Robusta will be able to survive in very harsh and severe conditions. Now, Arabica does very well, produces the good quality of coffee that you expect. Now, this one you expect them to grow in areas of high altitude. So this one grows in an altitude of about 1,500 meters to around 2,000 meters above sea level. Robusta coffee will grow in 600 meters to about 1,500 meters above sea level. Now, these are the conditions that are necessary and vital for its growth. Now, very quickly look at the areas where coffee is grown. Areas in Kenya where coffee is grown. So areas, coffee is grown in Kenya. Now, as I say that this coffee grows in areas of of cool and wet regions, too much rainfall. So this, you expect them that it grows in highland regions, okay? For example, in areas of like Nyeri, Meru, okay? Murang'a, the highland regions, okay? So these are the areas that you expect it to grow, okay? So that is Murang'a. We also have Kiambu. So these are the areas that it grows, okay? You can also find it in Rift Valley, in some certain areas of Rift Valley, okay? So we look at Tanzania. Ethiopia. Where is it grown in Ethiopia? Now, as its name suggests, I talked about Kaffa. Okay? Ethiopia grows in an area known as Kaffa, as its former province. It also grows in a place known as Harar. Harar in Tanzania. In Ethiopia. Okay? These are the areas that it does very well. So, these are the areas it's able to grow. In Kaffa, former province, and we have also an area known as Harar. Now, we look at the contribution to the economy. How has coffee contributed to the economy? We look at its contribution to the economy. So, its contribution to the economy. So how has coffee contributed to the economy? Number one, it has been able to provide employment. Okay? So it has been able to provide employment. You find that many people have gotten to be employed through coffee. For example, in the early 1990s there, you find that most of the old people in Nyeri, such areas, were able to get employed and carry out coffee, and they would get good returns out of coffee sales, okay? Whereby they would take to the coffee board, okay? And people could get employment from. They will be employed to the coffee boards, okay? Number two, the country is able to earn what we call foreign exchange. Now, I want you to understand our greatest export is coffee. Coffee and tea is one of our great exports. And through export of coffee, we get what we call foreign exchange. For example, one of the countries that we sell our coffee, we have United Kingdom. So we are able to get foreign exchange such whereby we are able to get the pounds, the sterling pounds. Number three, it's a source of income for the farmers. So it's a source of income for these farmers, okay? The farmers are able to get income or money out of the sale of coffee. For example, as the farmers They grow the coffee, they're able to sell at the coffee studio board, and they're able to get good money from the sale of coffee. Number 4, we have what is able to bring what we call industrialization, whereby most industries are able to come up due to the coffee, whereby we have the coffee boards, coffee cereals. Number 5, we have been able to get what we call social facilities. Right now, when you go where coffee is grown, you find the road network is good, communication, transport system are well enhanced. Thank you so much. I hope you have learned and understood. Thank you.